So hello, everyone. As that lovely introduction said, my name is Adam Macaluso. I'm the Trina Solar account rep. And today we're just going to be going over a little bit of the history about Trina, some of the points about us as a company, and how that can translate down to you folks on the installation level, and how we can present that to folks across the table and to our commercial partners as well. So I'll get right into it. Like I said, I'll go over the introductions, who's on the call today, a little bit more in depth, give a little bit of a history on who Trina is as a company and what we are currently offering as far as our products go and what we have coming on board here in the near future. And then kind of tie all that in together on why Trina Solar makes sense for installers, how to more effectively sell Trina, how we can kind of bundle all these together to convey the value of Trina as a company. And then we'll open it up for questions at the end. So, who's on the call today? Like I said, my name is Adam Macaluso. I'm the National Accounts Manager and Rep for Soligent. I've been with Trina for going on 6 years now. And before that, I did 2 years with a residential installer, small one out here, doing regular rooftop installs. And then also on the call, we have Stephanie Loip, who's our Distribution Sales Director. She has over 10 years in solar and almost 20 years managing channel partners. So, I'm going to jump into a little bit of the history of Trina, hit some of the kind of the key milestones. I'm going to jump around on this slide just a little bit because some of these are more international points. So I'm going to start with the first one on our founding. So Trina Solar was founded in 1997. And after doing a little bit more research on this is something even I kind of forgot, was that this puts us at over 23 years of panel making expertise. And I believe that makes us one, if not the oldest panel manufacturer still around today. Producing very strong. So over 20 years of solar panel manufacturing experience. In 2006, we were listed publicly on the New York Stock Exchange. Big moment for us as a company. And then if some of you have been following kind of Trina in our history a little bit, a couple of years ago, we delisted from the stock exchange, and a couple of months ago, we finally relisted as well back to the public markets. With a much better valuation than we thought the NYSE had given us. So we are hugely proud of that. So we are a publicly traded company once again. So we're very, very super proud about that point. Kind of going back to 2014 was the first year we hit the largest global module shipments in the entire world. So that was a really big moment for us. And ever since 2014, we've been in the top 3, kind of circling in those top spots ever since then, as far as overall global shipments to the entire earth. Let's see here. Other ones, 2016 was when our Thailand factory opened. This was another big milestone for us. This was our first factory outside of China. Before that, we had gotten all of our supplies back near headquarters. And all of the modules for the US, if you don't know, all the Trina modules, majority come from our Thailand factory, but Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam are our main points, with Thailand being the largest of those by far. And those are kind of the major points for the US here as well. So, reliability. This is something that we talk about a lot in the industry. And this is a really big point for us as a company that we really like to kind of tout around. I know there's a lot of information on this slide. I'll kind of break it down and some of the players on here too. So, bankable. We have been rated the top bankable PV module manufacturer by Bloomberg New Energy Finance for the past 4 years in a row. So what does bankable mean? This is a term, like I said, that we throw around a lot on the manufacturing side. And I don't know how much that kind of gets conveyed down to the homeowner or the commercial project installer on what that means. So bankable is how financially stable you are as a company. How bankable are you with banks, major financial institutions? How confident are they in you as a company? So Bloomberg New Energy Finance puts this list together every year. They survey the largest banks, financiers, creditors around the world, and Trina Solar has taken the top spot the last 4 years in a row. This is a fact we are hugely, hugely proud of as a company. And we are also, as the little blue star next to our name indicates, a top performer with DNVGL as far as the reliability of the panels. So the reliability of us as a company and of our panels all tie together. And I'll go into some of the details on who Bloomberg New Energy Finance is, DNVGL is as well, who those folks are, and put together this this graph and this data for us. So who does these tests and rankings? Who actually comes up with these numbers? DNVGL. I will not try to butcher the Norwegian and the German here. So I think a lot of folks are interested or know of DNVGL. I've probably seen their booths at SPI and things like that. These guys are a massive international register and classification society. So they certify, they test not only solar panels, but many, many other industries, renewable energy, oil, gas, food, beverage, healthcare, all over the place. So their energy branch is the one that does certification for us in our industry. So they have the largest testing lab in the world that they send all the panels through. So we send all of our panels there for testing and certification. And this is really, really big for manufacturers. Third-party testing and data, especially for some of our large utility clients as well. You can't move forward without this stuff. So we invest a lot of money into the quality of our own panels. First, I'll kind of touch on that as well, before they even get out the door to DNVGL and other third-party testers as well. So they are part of this, this kind of ranking procedure. And then the other company I mentioned, Bloomberg New Energy Finance, BNEF, their sole job is basically data analysis. They publish reports. They do over 700 reports a year on the energy industry, wind, solar, renewables, things like that. And that's their whole job, is to basically collect data, do analysis, in-depth coverage as well. So these are kind of some of the large players in the industry and some of their accreditation and how we get to that main report. Innovation for growth. Well, another part of Trina is that we are always trying to constantly evolve our product offerings to be the best that we possibly can. So we have a major in-house research lab that we do all of our stuff at. We invest heavily in that technology. This is just some of the world records that we hold. We have 19 as far as, I think there's actually a couple more on this slide. Needs a little bit of an update since November 2019, but you can see all the way when we started keeping these records back in 2011, back when polysilicon was still the hot ticket, you know, moving all the way up to, you know, integrated back contact and N-type and things like that. So we also hold 797 patents and growing on our technology. So constantly innovating, putting proprietary patents on those to make sure that our modules are always keeping trend with the market or leading it. Quality. Quality is something we talk about a lot in our industry, but I think that sometimes kind of gets glossed over. We'd like to go into a little bit of the details on our quality, you know, how much we care about it at Trina Solar. The first point that we do is testing. I kind of mentioned our research lab that we do all of our panel development at in-house, but we also do our own testing in-house as part of that as well. We perform over 200 different tests on our panels before they ever get out the door to like a third-party certifier before they ever make it to the market. So massive amount of testing, rigorous quality control on the panels that we do. We were also the first PV company to get UL's client test data program certification. Pretty proud of that. Warranty, I'm gonna come back to this in a second. I'm gonna jump back to third party, what we kind of already touched on, which was the reliability. You know, we do our own testing in-house, as mentioned, but then we use folks like DNVGL and other third-party certification tests for all of our panels as well. So warranty. We have a industry standard 2512, so 25 years on the power, 12 on the product. And we have been talking about this a lot kind of internally and with our partners like Soligent as well, about, you know, we see that the industry is moving more towards like a 25-25 warranty, 25 years. And we know that some other manufacturers have this. So we at Trina, we are a little bit more of a conservative company on how we do things. You know, we are very large, but that conservative nature has been, I believe, one of the reasons why we have been around so long, for over 20 years. So this is something that we are working on evolving on a constant basis. So our team here in the US is talking with our overseas team, our manufacturing team, the research team, on what we can do to get this number higher to the point where everyone's comfortable with it and we can comfortably back that up for an additional, you know, put together like a 25-25 package. So this is something that is in development and is a constant ongoing process. So that is something that we hope to bring to the table at some point. I won't touch too much on this slide. We've already kind of covered it. how Trina is a global leader in various things. We got BNEF on there, D and VGL. The other one that I kind of just want to briefly touch on is on that top right quadrant is the SVTC, Silicon Valley Toxics Coalition. This is a group out here in Silicon Valley that basically, if you've ever seen the reports, they take all the major panel manufacturers and the minor ones as well, some of the smaller ones, and they have a huge list of criteria about, are these panels that are being manufactured good for the earth? We know all that solar, of course, is good for the earth, but what about the actual process of making it and the companies that do it? Do they use conflict materials? Do they themselves use renewable energy? Do they have responsible practices for the earth and for their employees as well? So all of this data is compiled by SVTC, and they put together a scorecard every year. We have been in the top 1 or 2 spot, the top spot for basically since they started doing this in 2011. And I think that the 2018, 2019 is out there as well, and we've also taken the top spot. So this is another one that at least I personally am incredibly proud of working for this company. So yeah, let's keep going here. So globalization. This is something that sometimes even I forget about, Trina, is how big of a company we are, because we're so focused here on the US market in this office, and I'll kind of touch on all this as well. We have year to date over 40 gigawatts of solar installed around the planet, several 100 million solar panels that are currently being installed pretty much on every country on earth. We have over 100 countries where our panels installed at, and we also have 13,000 employees employed throughout Trina around the world. So that being said, we also have all of our offices are very regional. So our office for the United States is here in San Jose, California, and all of our staff are located out here, minus the sales team who work remotely. So that means all the support staff, sales, me in sales, a handful of other folks, operations, finance, logistics, back-end support folks are all located out of this one US headquarters. So it makes it very, very easy to get support in that aspect. We don't have to wait overnight. So folks like Soligent and our partners don't have to, they have a central point of contact who is me. And then if I need anything internally from our own staff, it's all here in the United States. We don't have to go back and forth to China on a regular basis. There isn't a huge amount of turnaround. We can get things done much more effectively. And I think this is a really big point that isn't emphasized enough. And I can't emphasize enough on all the support here is local, and our turnaround time. We view ourselves as a U.S. company because everybody is here. In these interesting times we live in, everyone is working remote from home, but everyone is still here in California. We're all tied to each other, constantly going back and forth. So it's a really great local support group that we have here in the U.S. for our partners and for the installers. Products. Touch briefly on this. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with our products. I'll kind of go into some of the details here. I'll start with our commercial product, our Tallmax, our 72 cell. Sorry, I guess I shouldn't say 72 cell. Technically, it's 144 now because we moved over to half cut cells. So you take a 72 cell, cut in half, you get 144. I apologize, I'll probably use 72 cell for a long time, as most of us will. Currently offering 400, 405 watt for our commercial units, and we will be getting 410 watts coming in October as well. So this is our standard workhorse run-of-the-mill for our commercial and C&I projects. Can be used on residential if you feel so inclined, but that's kind of where they at for the size and the weight for our commercial size. I'm going to skip over residential. I'll come back to that in a second. Bifacial, the DuoMax Twin. So this is the bifacial version of our commercial cells. So same front side power, 400, 405, 410, but also, back contact as well for the bifacial. Power generation increased by up to 30%, depending on what you have going on the backside. But also, this is a slightly unique product in the fact that it is a double glass framed module. So, of course, you need the double glass for, to capture the light coming in on the backside, but it is framed for regular installing as well. So that's the bifacial. It is available. I know there's not a huge amount that moves through the channel, but it is an offering that we still have for channel partners and for installers. So that is there. The residential panel, the workhorse of us as Trina Solar and the channel and our installers. Currently, we are doing 325s. It is a black on black and will always be a black on black. This is something that I really, really want to emphasize for residential installers out there. Trina Solar several years ago made the decision that everything that we ship over for distribution for the channel for Soligent will be black on black. And that is what we offer today and going forward in the future as well. Black and whites are available if you want to talk to Soligent, or folks, if you do have that option. But we have found that majority of installers out there, the black on black is definitely the way to go, usually what they want. So we've put a lot of time and research into how can we make this the most aesthetically pleasing panel at the right price. Currently, these are 325s coming off the line right now. Starting in October, those will be 330 black on blacks. And to my knowledge, I believe we are the only manufacturer with the 325 black on black at the moment. I'm sure that will be the only one with 330 black on black, I believe. But that is something that I want to emphasize. This is a huge focus for us on the residential side and for the channel. So tied into products is our supply. This is, I can't drive this point home enough for installers, both on the residential and the commercial space. We are very unique among manufacturers in how we supply our partners, like Soligent, down to you folks on the installation level. We set up a direct uninterrupted supply coming in from our factories for the US just for the distribution channel. So there's a lot of aspects for being companies large as we have utility groups, we have project development groups, things like that. So there's a lot of demand around the world for this stuff. So a couple of years ago, we carved out a direct channel from the factories. It's a direct supply just from the factories to our distribution partners at Soligent that cannot be touched by any other region or any other division of Trina. So that product is guaranteed to show up for our channel partners. And it cannot be, quickly poached by anybody that has a job coming in without a lot of warning and negotiating and all that kind of stuff. So this is just for our partners. And we dictate on how that is broken down. We work with companies like Soligent to say, okay, this is how much residential 60 cell demand we have, how much 72, where is that going in the United States? Is it headed to the West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, Texas, Panhandle, wherever? We get to dictate how that is all structured. So when we commit to these volumes, we stay on top of our shipments. This is the reliability of the supply. We cannot stress enough, and we know how important this is for installers, both on the commercial and on the residential side, is that when you have a job coming in, you need to know that those panels are going to be there. And we want it to be that way too. So we have the dedicated supply coming in, and we stay on top of our shipments. This kind of ties into having the support staff here in the United States as well, here in California. We constantly monitor our shipments. We let our partners know ahead of time if there are any issues. Sometimes you can't always foresee if a freighter breaks down or there's some type of weather that goes on. We stay on top of that. Our team notifies us and we pass that down to head off anything at the pass. So this is something I can't stress enough that makes Trina a very unique proposition for us, for our value and how we handle our business. The channel and Soligent and our partners are so important to us, and you guys as the installers as well. We can't exist without you, so we have to make sure that you guys get the product, what you need, when you need it. All this kind of ties into who we are as a company. Just briefly tough on our corporate culture. We have 4 kind of key metrics that drive us. Customer centric. We're always focused on the customer, on Soligent, our partners, the installers. How do we best serve these folks that keep us going? Our dedication to them, our open mind to new ideas, to new thoughts, the feedback we get from our customers, all of that stuff we want, and always excelling at everything that we do. So I know that was a lot of words. I'll just kind of briefly recap here some of the main highlights of us as a company. Local operating headquarters out in San Jose, California. Sales, ops, logistics, finance, tech, and warranty guys, all based in the US. And there's a single dedicated point of contact, me, for Soligent. And Soligent is there to help you all succeed in your business. I am here to help everybody succeed as well. We are one of the oldest, most experienced panel manufacturers to date. We are financially stable, incredibly well rated by banks and industry leaders and creditors. We hold multiple patents and have multiple third-party tests to prove our longevity and reliabilities of us as a company and of our panels. We always focus on the aesthetics, always black on black for our residential modules. It's an industry standard for us, and a reliable, dedicated supply only for our channel partners and only for installers. And we believe that we have all of these things together, a very competitive price to performance ratio, about all the stuff in technology and all the things that make Trina great into the price point of the panels at the end of the day and kind of where that fits in the market. So we believe that we have one of the best price to performance ratios as well, and always trying to find the best ratio of that. So that kind of ties up everything together. Hopefully, I'm actually working currently with the Trina marketing department. We're going to put together like kind of a little 1 to 2 page PDF type scenario that we're going to be sharing around with Soligent, and that we can share with you all on the call as well, about kind of summarizing some of the major points that we did right here, kind of like a why Trina doc that can be shared with anybody and everybody. So thank you all so much for the time. Like I said, I know that was a lot of words very quickly. So if you have any questions, Stephanie and I are here to answer them. And thank you so much for coming to our webinar today.